Hi guys, so I'm back after my lunch to speak on the FIFA World Cup and the FIFA World Cup finals. Basically, what has happened till now in this World Cup, and as we look forward to this final between Argentina and Spain, what we can expect and what we can look forward to. So I thought, let me speak on this today. And I was actually going to speak on the Indian football, but and what the situation is and what is happening in Indian football. But I, on purpose, I'm keeping it for the next time. And why am I keeping it for the next time? I'll let you know in my next video, which will be probably next Saturday or Sunday, whenever I'll get time to shoot that video. Now, coming to the World Cup. So, how the World Cup has been. So, it's been quite good for me. Actually, I enjoyed it. So compared to last time, there were 32 teams. This time there were 48 teams. So, there was a lot of debate that whether there should be 48 teams because in 48 teams there will be some lesser quality teams that will end up getting into the World Cup, and whether they deserve it. World Cup should only be for those teams who work hard and deserve to come to the finals, which I believe there is a point that people are making, because especially when I tracked some other teams like a Sweden. Sweden was has not even performed that well, but somehow or the other, through some permutation combinations, those guys have been getting a chance to get into the World Cup. And eventually, once they got in the World Cup, we saw that they were not right up there as a team. And then we also saw the Curacao match against Germany, where there was a no contest. So, Germany hardly played that well as well in that match, and they ended up scoring 7-1. Besides that, there were some matches which were high scoring. Maybe I think the Qatar versus Canada match was 6-0. Spain had beaten Saudi, but that can happen. Spain in the end. But overall, I still feel the teams that were, you can say, the lower teams or not as good as the top ranked teams. They still did well. And the team that can proudly say that is, of course, Cape Verde, because for me Cape Verde was one of the teams from this World Cup that we will remember always. That how they played and how they, it was just inspiring to see that how such a small country is playing as a team, and even competing against the biggest of teams. And coincidentally, both the finalists that are playing weren't able to beat them in 90 minutes. That was Spain and Argentina. So Cape Verde was the team that I, and of course all of us, enjoyed watching them, and they played really well. And the story of the goalkeeper, it was really inspiring to see that his mother was not able to come to the World Cup because they didn't have money to pay for her visa and all that. And finally she did come, because eventually FIFA did help her out, and got her, and ensured that she ends up watching her son. It was a fantastic story for us to watch, and it is very inspiring and a lot to learn from them. Such a small country in Africa, and they did quite well. And yeah, overall it was quite competitive. Most of the matches that we saw were quite competitive, and we can't say that one side was getting one-sided beaten by anyone. As I told you, I gave you some examples of the matches that happened, but there are very few and far of those matches that were one-sided. Most of the matches were quite competitive and quite physical, and even the smaller teams had a plan in place and they were executing it quite well. So DRC, being another team that we saw, ended up drawing against Portugal, which was a big blow for Portugal, because that meant that they ended up coming second in the group to Colombia. So DRC did well. South Africa beat South Korea. So the 48 format was quite good in the end, I felt. And I don't know that they are saying that they will increase it more to, I don't know, whatever number, 60 plus 64, whatever it is. I'm not sure about that, but let's see how that thing happens. So yeah, it's been quite good overall. The timings could have been a bit of a problematic thing, especially for us in India, because of the timings of 12:30, 3:30 at times, and in the morning it's a 6:30 kind of matches. But for me, I ended up watching some of the matches at 12:30 for sure, but not the 2:30 ones, that 3:30 ones that were quite late. tried my best in some of the matches, but it was difficult. And the morning ones I did watch quite a few of them, and it was good fun because at times, it's on a Sunday. I was going for football in the morning and then coming back and watching the 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock match. So it was quite good to see those matches. And yeah, but that's the way it is. The timings were a bit odd because of the U.S., Canada, Mexico time zones, but overall it was good. So looking at the teams continental, if you look at it continent-wise, so let's say for example Africa. So the African teams did quite decently, I felt. So most of them did qualify for the knockout stages, either through second place, first place, or whatever, third place, best third places as well. And yeah, out of that, was it a couple of teams, yeah, Morocco and Egypt, that reached the quarterfinals, and I think that was the best that they could have done in the end, because yeah, you can say they had a chance against France or Argentina, but in the end those teams are very class teams and at another level. So I think they did quite well in the end. Morocco especially has been quite consistent now, as we saw the last time they reached the semis. Now they have reached the quarterfinals, so they're quite good team. And African teams are doing decently well, but yeah, there is more room for improvement for them to now reach to the next level where they can reach semis or they can reach finals, because in the end the Europeans and the South American teams are quite strong. The Asian teams, we can say, had a bit of, we can say, a mixed World Cup. So if you look at Korea, Korea was not able to qualify even through the group stages. Same went for Saudi. They were not able to do much when it came to their group. And yeah, besides that, it was Japan. I think Japan played quite well against Brazil. I think it was one of the best matches in the World Cup. Brazil versus Japan. They got the lead, but then Brazil found a way in the end to win that match. So Japan did quite well. Australia also was quite decent, very physical. They had a game plan, and they even reached to the knockout stages, and they did quite pretty well, I can say. So overall, it was okay for the Asian teams. Coming to the hosts, that was US, Mexico, and Canada. Again, I felt that they were quite okay. They did what they were supposed to do. I think the US was expecting that they should have gone through the quarterfinals, but as much as I have seen, I felt they were a bit overrated. Yes, they won their first match quite well against Paraguay, but they weren't as good in the end because the way they played against Belgium, I felt that the Belgium side just beat them one-sided, and there was no contest in a way. So it actually exposed the US team and how they actually are placed, because at times in their media and their ex-players and all would try to portray that, oh, they are much better than what they are. But I felt the US was a team that was good enough for last 16. They reached last 32, which was played for the first time in any World Cup, and they reached the last 16. I think that was the best that they could have done. I think Mexico also would, in the end, be quite happy with the way they played. They would have expected to beat England, especially playing at their home and the record that they had. But England had quality players, and in the end, that's the quality that made the difference. Kane, Bellingham, these players are at another level. So that was the difference between those two teams, and England defended quite well as well, even after getting a red card. So yeah, overall it was quite fine, I would say, for the host teams as well, US, Mexico, and Canada. Coming to the South American teams, well, it will be a mixed thing for them, because there was Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, Ecuador, and I think I'm missing someone, and Uruguay. So I think they would have expected themselves to do much better, especially Uruguay, who did not qualify, Colombia, who couldn't beat Switzerland. Colombia did quite well in the groups. They won their group, but they were not able to beat Switzerland and go into the quarterfinals. And Brazil also will be very disappointed, because in the end Brazil is Brazil, and Brazil with Carlo Ancelotti would have been a very, very difficult opponent for anyone, and they would have gone. I felt that they could have gone at least, if not to the semis, at least to the quarters. So they would have been very disappointed the way their campaign went. and unfortunately we are that was the last time we have seen even one of the great players, Neymar, who has played the World Cup. He didn't play much, so again there was a debate whether he should have played or not played. But anyways, he is a great player, and this was his last World Cup. So it was sad to see him go, and he see him in tears. But he has been a great player, and he's done quite well over his career. Otherwise, there was, yes, of course, there's Argentina. So we saw what Argentina has done and how they went to the finals. So I think there's not much to say about that, because we had discussed about that, how they have managed to reach the finals. It has been very tough for them, but in the end, they are the champions, and they found a way in every match, and they ended up coming to the finals of the World Cup again. So, but overall, Ecuador was also there. Ecuador, had a very good match against Germany. They qualified somehow in the best third places, but again they lost in the knockout stages. So I think they wouldn't have been that happy if you look at the South American teams, the level at which they could have performed in this World Cup. Finally, coming to the Europeans. So before the World Cup, there was all these talks that the Europeans won't be able to manage the heat and the altitudes and this and that, but they did quite well in the end. I think if there are teams that have done quite well, you will have to say the European teams overall have done well, starting off with Spain and France and Norway. Of course, Norway is a team that should be mentioned. A team that was there actually nowhere in one time in world football, and they have suddenly come and they're doing well. And I was speaking to my Norwegian friends as well, and they was also saying that we have no idea where we have come from. We have made a team now, because they had always had Haaland and Odegaard, who are we can say the top class players in the team, but overall they didn't have that many good players to go and qualify for the World Cup. But this time they had a very good campaign. They beat Italy both the times. They played this World Cup quite well. They beat Brazil. That was their biggest, I can say, upset that they caused. And of course, the kind of celebrations and everything also that they brought, the Viking celebrations and all, was really really good to see them, and the way they performed this World Cup. So Norway is one team that was a standout among the European teams. Of course, all Ronaldo fans will tell you Portugal was a disappointment, because it's not just about Ronaldo. They had really good players in their midfield, as Vitinha, Neves, Bruno Fernandes. They had all kind. They had the team to go through at least to the later stages, but they completely messed it up for them. One, by not winning the group, and then of course going into a tougher knockout stage when they had to face Spain in the last 16. So yeah, they themselves brought it on themselves by not performing to the level that they could have, and that was the end of Ronaldo, unfortunately. And we would have probably seen a Ronaldo versus Messi if they would have won their group, but they ended up drawing to DRC, which was a big blow from them. And yeah, so that's what happened, and they ended up going out in the last 16. And unfortunately, that was the end of the great Cristiano Ronaldo, who did not win the World Cup. That was one of his dreams, I'm sure, for sure. But that does not mean he is not a great player. He is, and he'll always be a great player, and he has been an inspiration for so many youngsters, and we have watched him for years. So yeah, so that is the way it is. But yeah, Portugal has been a disappointment. Otherwise, Netherlands would have expected themselves to at least be till the last 16 or the quarterfinals, but they got beaten by Morocco. Morocco found a way. It looked like the Netherlands would go past, but the Moroccans have that fighting spirit, and they were able to beat them in the penalties. So Netherlands would have been disappointed, because they are always a talented side, always have got good players, but yeah, they were not able to perform the way they would have expected. And yeah, otherwise it was on expected lines. France and Spain, we saw them how good they were. And Croatia, let's be honest, they were a team that was having players who are past their best, but they had some great players as well who have played well over the years, especially Modric. It was his last World Cup as well. He was, one of the players that I used to always see, that how calmly and coolly he manages the midfield, and the way he finds spaces, the way he finds the passes. He's one of the best midfielders I've seen, and for a short guy, not that physical, but he was one of the guys that was at one time really unplayable. And to see him also go, so of course, You feel that he should have played a little longer, but in the end, age is age. So somewhere he had to retire, and this was his swan song. And but yeah, overall he's played quite well. Another great player who, in case of Ronaldo, we are saying he didn't win the World Cup. He at least won the Euros. In case of Modric, he's not even won the Euros and the World Cup. So another great player who is not able to win the big trophy. But they have been a consistent team, and yeah, so now I think it's a new era for them where all these players like Modric, Perisic will eventually now retire, and the new players will come in, and let's see how Croatia does. So yeah, that was for the European teams. So England as well was part of it, and yeah, they will be disappointed that the situation that they might have gone all the way and got the trophy, but yeah, they it seemed like again that mental block that we always talk about England, that when they have the moment to go beat their opponent and go through, again they have fallen short. That Argentina match in the semis, the first half was all physical, and there's nothing much happening, but it was basically physical tackles flying around. The second half they got the lead, and they had the world champions where they wanted to. So I felt that, of course, in hindsight, it's very easy to say, oh, they should have gone for the second, oh, they should have done this, they should have not done that. In the hindsight, we are always right. The analysis is always in place. But even if you look at it logically, if you are like we saw in the Spain match, it is not like, once you get a lead, then you should ensure that now we have to control the game and try and close down the game, because when it comes to the big side, whether it's France or whether it's in Argentina, you have to close down games. If you don't close down games, they will come back and haunt you, and that's exactly what happened to them. And Argentina has been showing that. It's not like England has not seen those matches. Argentina has been showing that. They show it in the Cape Verde match, they show it in the Switzerland match, and especially this Egypt match when they were 2-0 down, they came back and they won it 3-2. So the way they went into the shell and they thought that we will defend it out, was completely a suicidal decision. But on the other hand, it was Argentina, and again that little man called Messi, who just showed why he is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, because that's again a separate debate that keeps on going. But why he is one of the greatest, or according to me, I have never seen a player like him. The things that he does, and it is not just about his skill or his talent or his pace. We have seen that over the years, that he has shown the quality that he has, but the smartness that he has and the way he understands the game, no one is able to understand the game the way he understands it. Because even if you see the England game, he was playing in the middle most of the times, and is the area of the number 10 area, if I can say, that is just behind the striker. But in the England game, saw that there is something there on the right side where there was space, and there was something that he felt that I can go and harm these guys from that side, and he suddenly went back to the going on the right side and started putting his attacks from there. And from there, the kind of crosses he was giving, the kind of problems he was giving England had no answer to it. And then that's the side where the two assists came from. He won the pass to Enzo Fernandez, and that brilliant goal was scored by Enzo. And the other one, we saw that the defender thought that I'll keep him on the left and not let him do anything on his left, but he took it on his right, and the pass was just perfect. And it just shows that this guy is not just talented, not just skillful, but he's a very, very, very smart player. He knows exactly how to use the spaces and what is supposed to be done in that situation. And the other thing that really inspires me about this guy is that this guy is 39 years of age. Is something that we have to remember. And the kind of fitness that he has shown is unbelievable, because you're at 39. I am 39. I was just joking the other day that look at Messi, look at me, look at Djokovic, we are still going at 39, and this and that. But the point I'm making is that we speak about Cristiano, and how Ronaldo, he keeps his fitness, how he's disciplined, how he has a diet, and it's very inspiring the way he has maintained himself over the years. But this guy is no different. Look at his fitness. He played the Cape Verde match every minute he has played, it went to extra time. He played the quarterfinals against Egypt, very intense match, very physical match, and he played every minute. The same went with sorry, it was the last 16 Egypt, then it was the quarterfinals was against Switzerland. Again, he ensured that he kept going till the last minute, and it was again an extra time game where he played every minute. And and again in the England match we saw the same thing. It was a very physical match. The first half was brutal, and the second half we saw what happened, and he still played every minute. So it just shows how fit this guy is, and it is the discipline that he has been able to maintain over the years, because that is something that we have not talked about a lot about Messi, because we talk about his skill, about his talent, how quick he is, how his dribbles are, but these things are something, because it is not a joke that if you see one of the moves that were there, that how fit and how strong this guy is where Harry Kane, and there were more two players, I think Spence and someone who was trying to get the ball out of him physically, but he was, and these guys are very strong. Harry Kane is very strong, Spence is very strong, but this guy was really showing his physicality, and it just shows the kind of fitness he's been able to maintain even at this age. It's not a joke to play at that level that he's currently playing. So yeah, it's just amazing to see. And now we are going to have the finals, and this finals is of course going to be, for me, going to be a really good final that we are going to see. And yeah, Spain, we saw what they did in the semi-finals. It just shows that what level this team is. There's a reason why they are the European champions, and they showed that it does not matter even if it's the favorites, which was France. When they are on, they are on. Then there are hardly teams who can beat them. And if they play like that in the finals, then Argentina will find it really difficult to stop them. So the question will be for Argentina, because for Spain they will play the way they play. They will play possession kind of football, and they will not want Messi or all these guys come into the game. So they will pretty much do what they have done in the semi-finals of not letting Mbappe and the company to come in. The same thing they will try to do here: control the ball, pass the ball well, keep the movement going. And yeah, so that's where Argentina will have to now see how are they going to counter. And when I say counter, the main people to counter will be their midfield, who basically are the ones who have been very dominant. That is Rodri, and who will be in place in with Rodri. We'll have to see whether it's Ruiz or whether it's Pedri, because Rodri and Ruiz worked really well in the semis. So let's see whether the manager plays Pedri or whether he plays Ruiz. But Rodri is the man. He's the captain. He's the main player. He's the one who runs the game. And we were feeling at one time he might lose his best, because after the injury he had and he came and played for Man City, he was not looking like the Rodri that he was. But here in this tournament, he's looked like the Rodri he was. So yeah, so Spain, Argentina, as much as we say that the plan should be for Messi and Lamal, and all those videos that we saw about Messi and Lamal, that's been all over the place. I'm not going to go too much into that. That is already in front of everyone. But there has to be a plan for Rodri as well, because that guy is the one who runs the game. So whether it is McAllister or Enzo, or whether it is anyone who will want to do a job on Rodri, then he'll be the important player to for Spain for Argentina, to ensure that he does not create too many problems in tonight's match. Otherwise, if you look at Spain's side, they will do what they do, and the defense has been really good also. They have hardly conceded. I think they have conceded only one goal against the Belgians. And this player, the Kubrasi, if I'm not wrong, I've got the name right, Kubrasi, he's just 19 years old. We spoke about Lamine Yamal. He's 18 years old, very talented guy. Has not been at his best, but let's see how he does in these finals. A very talented player who plays in Barcelona, same position as Messi, number 10. And but this guy Kubrasi also plays for Barcelona, and he has been really good. He and Laporte have been a really good combination in the defense. And the goalkeeper, of course, we've seen him, Simon. There were a lot of talks whether he should be dropped, because Raya had a very good season, but Simon has been good as well. We saw a couple of instances in the France game where we felt Mbappe might be through, but he was there to sweep it out and do what he was supposed to do as the goalkeeper. So they have a really good defense, really good wing backs, Cucurella and Pedro Porro, really good players defensively, attacking wise. So it is for Argentina to find a way to beat them now. Argentina has done it against the others, but Spain won't be easy at all, because if Spain end up playing the way they played against France, then then Argentina are going to have a very tough time, a very tough night tomorrow. So for Argentina, well, they'll have to do what they have to do. Try to play it through Messi and ensure that he's in the game. And yeah, they have to bring that emotion, they have to bring that energy like they have brought it in the previous matches. And technically Spain might be better, skillfully Spain might be better, but when it comes to energy, when it comes to emotion, when it comes to fight, the defending champions are going to not back out. Let's be honest, it won't be a case, I feel, maybe it won't be a case like the France match. I think Argentina will take them on and will be physical and would not let Spain do what they did to France or what they do to the other side. So it will be a very interesting one. So let us see how this one goes. I feel still Spain should win, because Spain has got the team, and for me the best team eventually wins, but they have got Messi as well, so it can go anywhere. But I feel that Spain team has got a lot in them to beat this Argentina side, and a lot of coincidences are working their way. So last time also they were the Euro winners in 2008, they won in 2010. They last time also, the first match was Mexico versus South Africa. This time also it was Mexico versus South Africa. So they would like to believe that all these coincidences were happening. Jose Mourinho was appointed the coach at that time in 2010, and even this time Jose Mourinho is appointed the coach for Real Madrid in 2026. So they will hope that all these coincidences work for them. They have just reached the finals once. They have won the finals once against Netherlands in 2010. So they would hope that this is also going to be a final that they will win. For Argentina, well, they will have to make history, and history that was made, I think, 60 years back. So I think 1958 and 1962, when Brazil had won back to back. So this is Argentina's chance to make history after 60 odd years, to win a back-to-back World Cup, which is, as you can see that how many years have gone, it is not an easy feat. But as I told you, they have got a man called Messi in their team. They have got good players as well. It's not just Messi is of course their main player, but they have the Martinez, they have the Enzos, they have Alvarez. So they have got a lot of players to hurt Spain as well. But first thing they will have to do is ensure that the Spain team is not allowed to play the way Spain would want to play, and it will be a very interesting contest. There's no doubt about that. So yeah, let us enjoy and let us see how this one pans out. And may the best team win. May the best team win. And finally, I actually missed out one of the points, and it is a very important one, is that there is a third place that was played last night, and everyone was saying it's a dead rubber, it does not matter, but Kylian Mbappe will tell you that that match did matter, because what has happened, he has scored 2 goals. Of course they lost 6-4, but he has scored 2 goals. That means he is currently leading the Golden Boot with 10 goals. Messi is an 8. So let us see what Messi can do. And also he is the all-time top goal scorer in World Cup history with 22 goals. So Messi is just one goal behind. So it will be in. So Mbappe has told you, proved you that it was not a dead rubber. It was a very important match, especially for him. So it is not a mean feat. And so just he's played 3 World Cups and he's become the highest goal scorer in the World Cup as of now, because Messi has to still play a final. And Mbappe has a lot of more World Cups to go. So let us see where he ends up. But that is for another day. And but tomorrow is all about Spain versus Argentina, and it will be a really good one. It will be a really good one. These teams are not going to back out for sure. So let's see who wins, and in the end, whoever wins, I hope it's the best team, and I hope there is no refereeing decision or anything as such that comes in, because as I told you in the last video, I don't, it shouldn't go into the rigged part and all those things, because in the end this game is all about, it is the game that we love, it's a game that we enjoy, and I hope that's how it happens, where two teams absolutely go at each other, and whichever is the best team comes out as a winner. So let's see, let's hope, let's see what happens tomorrow. And it's nice to see you guys again, so enjoy the match, and I'll see you soon. Yeah, probably next week, so Saturday or Sunday I'll post another video on Indian football, so stay tuned. Bye bye, enjoy.